along the journey today, you may hear a sequence of whistles that will be blown at every single railroad crossing. This sequence is 2 longs, 1 short, and 1 long. It is federal railroad regulation and alerts cars and pedestrians to the fact that we are a moving train. Now, for those of you who may be unfamiliar with Morse code, 2 longs is short and a long stands for the letter Q. This was originally used in England when the Queen was on board the train. You see, when trains were first invented, they used to stop the trains at all of the railroad crossings to let other folks go by first. However, as trains when the Queen was on board, they would blow this sequence of whistles to let everyone know that the Queen was coming and the train would not be stopping. However, as trains saw a fellow named Doc Holliday, he spent some time in Leadville and he even gambled in the Silver Dollar Saloon downtown. And I have also heard that he shot his last man in that saloon over a $5 gambling debt. He did not kill him, but wounded him, and I do believe that was the last man he shot. Now, folks, on the downhill side of the train, we are passing by some of our extra train cars, including 2 yellow machines known as ballast tampers, which tamp down the ballast between the railroad ties and underneath to make our tracks sturdy and firm. You'll also see a little green flanger car that was basically a snowplow for the railroad. Unlike the plow on the front of the locomotive, the flanger plow had wings, allowing it to push the snow further back, and this allowed more snow removal efforts to be done later on in the season, to accommodate larger standard gauge steam engines. We're also passing by our other 2 locomotives, engine 1918 and 1889, and today we are riding with engine 1714, also known by her nickname, Pride and Joy. 1918 goes by Tough and Ready, but 1889 does not have a nickname yet. This is because it is new to our railroad as of September of 2021, and we just haven't settled on a good nickname for that locomotive yet. They actually had to ship that locomotive to us on a massive truck and trailer rig, which was over 250 feet long with 21 axles, and it was quite an impressive sight to see. I do have pictures that I would be happy to show you on the way back down the mountain of that effort. Now that we are entering the woods, you may be wondering if you'll see any wildlife today. You do need to keep in mind that most animals are simply terrified of us and run for their lives away from the train, though, so you'll have to keep your eyes sharp if you plan to see anything today. We do get a chance to see mule deer about every other train ride. We saw some this morning, so we may see them again this afternoon. We also do occasionally see elk and moose from the train, although these sightings are more rare. And about once a season, we even see a bear from the train. You also may see some of Colorado's smaller game animals, though, such as squirrels, chipmunks, rabbits, marmots, and foxes from the train. So hopefully we'll see something today. The Rails to Trails program, however, has converted the old Mineral Belt Railroad into the Mineral Belt Trail. It is now a 12-mile paved hiking and biking path that encircles the entire city of Leadville, and if you are a hiker or biker, I highly recommend it. After all, he was a fun guy. Unfortunately, though, the last I heard from them, the relationship was on the rocks. Triple punchline to that joke for you all. Of course, on the downhill side, it is not hard to see why this is my favorite area along the entire train ride. Just due to the beautiful views of the Arkansas River Valley beneath us, and also a great shot of Mount Massive, Colorado's second highest peak, framed nicely between the valley walls to the left. We also get to see an avalanche shoot across the way on Mount Zion at nearly eye level, and it's pretty neat to see this. The highway down there is Colorado State Highway 91. It is also known as the Fallen Heroes Highway to commemorate the sacrifice of a local young man by the name of Nicholas Palmer, who gave his life serving our country in the Middle East in 2006. If we have any veterans on board the train today, or anyone in the active duty, we on the train crew would like to extend our deepest appreciation to you for your service as well. Now, just above the highway there, you can see another old narrow gauge raised rail bed, and this would belong to the Denver and Rio Grande Railroad. The Denver and Rio Grande was actually the first railroad company to reach Leadville back in the mining heyday, reaching Leadville from the south. The route you're seeing down there was their extension north from Leadville into the town of Dillon and the surrounding mining camps. Now, when that first railroad made it into Leadville in July of 1880, it was quite a hullabaloo, especially because there was a very famous passenger aboard that very first passenger train into Leadville, and his name was Ulysses S. Grant. Operations agreement, which basically said that the South Park could use the Rio Grande's line into Leadville if the Rio Grande could use the South Park's line into Gunnison. Along with this, they would share all track maintenance fees and such, and the plan was eventually for these two railroads to become one and merge later on. However, this plan plan would fall apart when the various disagreements arose between these two railroad companies. And in fact, they had legal battles, even, that made it all the way up to the Supreme Court. This was partly because the South Park was not paying their track usage fees to the Rio Grande, and many other things as well. Eventually, the Supreme Court ruled in favor of the Rio Grande, unfortunately for the South Park, and they were forced to pay back all of their unpaid track usage fees. Now, at this time, in May of 1883, the South Park decided it was time to end their dependency on this Rio Grande Railroad, since the relationship between these railroads was quickly deteriorating, and they began construction on their own route into Leadville on August 3rd of 1883.
What's that?
Akin!